Well. What's up, everybody? It's your girl, BeeSparrow, Sweet Radio. Hope all is well with you guys today. Whoa, I had to hop on right quick. What did I wake up to this morning? Lord have mercy. What is wrong with these white people? Or these people who appear to be white? What is wrong with them? I have a question. What is the problem? What's going on? What's happening? Did y'all hear about this? LA Sheriff challenges LeBron James to match reward money for a gunman who ambushed 2 deputies. Where they do that at?
McCafe iced coffee.
Where did they do that at? I'm going to read this article. It says the Los Angeles County Sheriff challenged Los Angeles Lakers star LeBron James to match $175,000 in reward money being offered for information on the gunman who ambushed and shot 2 LA deputies over the weekend. In an interview with KABC Radio, Sheriff Alex Villanueva said the reward money has reached $175,000 after 2 individuals donated $75,000 to add to the $100,000 offered by the county. This challenge is to LeBron James. I want you to match that and double that reward, Villanueva said. Who are you? Just who are you to ask that of a black man who says he's in fear of his life every day? Why would he give you $175,000? Why would he do that? He goes on to say, I know you care about law enforcement. You expressed a very interesting statement about your perspective on race relations and on officer-involved shootings and the impact that it has on the African-American community. And I appreciated that. But likewise, we need to appreciate that respect for life across professions, across races, creeds. And I like to see LeBron James step up to the plate and double that. My goodness, these people crazy as hell. James, who has been vocal about police shootings involving black people, had not publicly responded to the sheriff's challenge as of early Tuesday morning. Last month, James expressed outrage after an officer that shot Jacob Blake in Kenosha, Wisconsin, saying that black people in America are terrified. No, we're not. I can tell you for the most part, we are not as scared as these celebrities are telling y'all, making us out to be. We're not scared. I know I'm not. And I know a lot of my friends aren't. Because a lot of us has faith in a higher power. A lot of my friends believe that the Most High Yah is going to take care of you heathens that are out here killing innocent people. You wicked heathens. I believe the Most High is going to put you in your place soon. Soon. LeBron James go on to say, I know people get tired of hearing me say it, but we are scared as a black people in America. Speak for yourself, LeBron. This is one time when I'm going to tell you and Terrell Owens to stop telling people that we are afraid. I don't believe that we are. We just want the same justice as anybody else in this country. We're tired. We're not afraid. We're tired. We're weary. Not afraid. Most of us believe in a higher power. Most of us know that we have a higher power on our side that's going to put you wicked people in your places. He says, black men, black women, black kids, we are terrified. Maybe the kids may be terrified a little bit. But as for me and mine, we are not afraid, honey. Nope. James has also reportedly called for justice for Breonna Taylor, a 26-year-old EMT who was shot and killed when officers entered her apartment with a no-knock warrant in March. And we talked about Breonna Taylor yesterday. Shalom, Brother Monster. We talked about Breonna Taylor yesterday about how the district attorney tried to get her ex, the one that was involved, not her boyfriend, Kenneth Walker, the one that shot the cop, but the one that they was looking for, try to get him to talk bad about Breonna Taylor. Of course, we know the family settled for millions of dollars yesterday, but we still want these cops locked up. They are wicked, evil, thugged, gang-banging cops. And I want to say again to LeBron James, stop telling people that black people are afraid. We are not afraid. We just want justice in this country. We might be a little bit weary. We might be a little bit tired, but we're not afraid. We just want justice in this country, just like anybody else. Back to this article. Villanueva challenged to James came after the weekend ambush of two deputies who were in their parked police vehicles when a man walked up to the passenger side and fired multiple rounds. The deputies were struck in the head and critically wounded, but both are expected to recover, Villanueva said. The gunman hasn't been captured and a motive has not been determined. You want to know what a motive is? You want to know what the motive is? Everybody and their mama in America and abroad know what the motive is. The motive is stop killing us. The motive is you kill us, we kill you. That's what his motive was. I'm not condoning it, but I could surely understand being a black woman in this country. And I'm tired of these white people walking around here trying to tell me how to think and how to feel. To hell with all of y'all. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. This is 2020. This is a new day. I am not my ancestors. I fight back. We fight back this day. Stop trying to tell us how to live. Stop trying to tell us how to feel. Stop trying to tell us where to go. Hell no, we're not going back to no damn Africa because you brought us from somewhere. You brought us here, and now you mad that we're here. You should be mad at your ancestors. Back to this article. The shooting occurred in Compton, one of the communities near South Los Angeles, an area with a large black population that has long been a flashpoint for racial tension and mistrust of police. And so now you wonder what the motive was. Alex Villanueva, you wondering what the motive was for this person to go and shoot these two cops up. My thing is, I wish that people would get the cops that's doing the killing. That's why I'm not. I don't quite understand why the two men that shot Roderick Walker, the two officers that shot Roderick Walker, I don't understand why their names aren't being released. And when I asked that question, white people try to come at me. This white lady tried to come at me on YouTube. I had to shut her down, like I always do. I'm still waiting for her to respond back. This was yesterday. She hasn't responded back yet after my last response. I'm going to go over that too if I don't forget. So the shooting occurred in Compton, one of the communities near South Los Angeles, an area with a large black population that has long been flashpoint for racial tension and mistrust of police. And you wondering what the motive is. I'm telling you, man, these white people or these people that's claiming to be white, they are starting to get on my nerves. People from the Caucasian persuasion and ones who support them, they are really pissing me off to the point of pissivity. Really. Hundreds marched Saturday to the sheriff's deputies' South LA station to protest the fatal shooting of a black man on August 31st and a black teenager in August 2018. Well, in 2018. It doesn't say the month. Both were killed by deputies from the station, which is about 6 miles from where the deputies were targeted Saturday. After that shooting, a handful of protesters gathered outside the hospital where the deputies were treated and tried to block the emergency room entrance. Videos from the scene recorded protesters shouting expletives at police and at least 1 year, I hope they effing die. This sheriff, this LA sheriff, Alex Villanueva, he tried to make it seem like the whole Black Lives Matter were protesting when it was only just a handful of people that was protesting that night. They always try to make us black people look bad when they are the ones that's wrong. And I hate to say it, that we fall for the okie doke all the time. We fall for the okie doke all the time. We're so used to falling for their bull crap that we do it without even notice. To LeBron James and Terrell Owens that's going around telling the news medias that black people are scared. No, we're not. We're not. The vast majority of us are not afraid. We want justice just like anybody else. Stop telling people we are afraid, because we are not. Because I know most of my people know that there's a higher being. Know that the Most High Yah is going to put a stop to your hatred, to your wicked ways. That's what we know. That's where our faith lies. Not in Donald Trump. Not in Mike Pence. Not in Joe Biden. Not in Kamala Harris, not in the LA Sheriff's Department or any police department. I keep saying this. When NWA wrote F the Police, I think it was back in 1988, do you think they was just rapping? Their spit was not just spit. They was rapping about stuff that they had been through with the police. The police in the United States of this here America and abroad are the biggest gang bangers that I could think of. Back to this article. In an interview with the Associated Press, Villanueva said the angry rhetoric is making deputies work more difficult. They think that they don't think that we should be angry about what's going on in our communities. They don't think that we should be angry about white cops killing and beating up black people. What are we supposed to be doing, a jig? We supposed to be dancing around happy because you beating our brothers and sisters up, because you killing our brothers and sisters, and you doing it right in front of our children? We supposed to be happy? We're not supposed to be angry. We don't have a right to be angry, huh? What is wrong with white people? What is wrong with white people that we supposed to do tap dances and sing and dance in front of our open enemies? You are our open enemies. You hate us because of the color of our skin, because of how we live. You can't stand us, and we supposed to be happy about it. Villanueva did not specify any particular people, but many politicians and athletes have harshly criticized police and called for defunding departments in the wake of the killing of George Floyd, a black man who died in Minneapolis after a white officer pressed a knee to his neck, and the shooting of Jacob Blake in Kenosha. The NBA playoffs were delayed last month when James and other stars supported the Milwaukee Bucks' decision not to play following Blake's shooting. U.S. Open winner Naomi Osaka of Japan wore a mask with the names of black victims of violence throughout the tennis tournaments. I know they was pissed off at her. After 29-year-old Dejon Kissy was killed by two LA County deputies last month, U.S. Representative Maxine Waters, a Democrat who represents part of South Los Angeles, said, "While we don't know all of the details of this incident, she shares the community's outrage and that the message from police killings is the lives of people of color." Stop saying the lives of people of color. Well, I guess in this case, people of color can be used because they're killing Hispanics too, blacks and brown skin. So, okay, the lives of people of color do not matter, and that the practice is a shoot first. The practice is to shoot first and ask questions later. Again, she says she shares the community's outrage and that the message from police killings is the lives of people of color do not matter, and that the practice is to shoot first and ask questions later. That's what we go through. That's what we go through. The department has begun its own investigation of allegations that a renegade group of deputies calling themselves the Executioners have taken control of the Compton station through threats, intimidation, and harassment. And we talked about that yesterday also. We talked about the name of the cops that are gangbangers in LA. They are actually in gangs. They share the same tattoos. We talked about this yesterday. Ron Hernandez, president of the Association for Los Angeles Deputy Sheriffs, said his organization is open to overall reform. He disputed any claims of renegade groups of deputies, but Saturday's shooting could never be justified as part of potential anti-police rhetoric. Lord have mercy. These people crazy. These people crazy. Listen, the days of us not fighting back are gone. We fighting back because we're tired. The pot of boiling water has boiled over and the lid has popped off. We're tired. We are not our ancestors. We're not going to take it anymore. It's just as simple as that. And these crazy white people are walking around like they don't understand why we are so pissed off. They act like they don't get it. When you're sitting there doing paperwork, the article goes on, and providing safety for the community, and somebody from the public comes out and ambushes you and tries to kill you, there's no valid explanation for that, he said during a Monday news conference outside of the hospital. I don't care how angry the public, I don't care how angry even the people that might protest are, That's not going to resolve anything. But what is? What is going to resolve it? What is? I cannot believe what this cop just said, what this person just said. Who's protecting us from the police? Who's going to protect us from the police? Villanueva criticized elected officials, sport figures, and civic leaders for fanning the flames of hatred as America grapples with racism and police brutality, saying they instead should emphasize trust in the criminal justice system. What? So you want celebrities and elected officials to ignore the fact that y'all killing us? You do not want them to speak on that. I'm telling you, these people crazy as hell. Villanueva also rejected claims the criminal justice system is biased against people of color, against black people, saying his department is committed to thorough investigations, including of his own employees. To someone who says they're biased, the only bias we have is toward facts, he said. We need to stop the false narratives. We have to let the system take its course, and justice has to be based on facts, based on evidence. It has to be right. Villanueva said the department's investigations into police shootings like Kizzy's take time. Oh, yeah? Listen at some of the names of the gangs in the LA police department. Los Bandidos. The Los Bandidos. This is a gang full of police officers. A real gang. They are called deputy gangs or cliques. You got the Bambitos, the Banditos. You got the 3,000 boys. You got the regulators. You got the Linwood Vikings. And these are only a few of the estimated 17 gangs that operate in jails and sheriff's stations across the country. These people are gang bangers that get away with killing. They can do anything they want. They have a badge, yet they are gang bangers. Deputy gangs or cliques. That's what they call them. Deputy gangs. And let me go on to my next story because telling you, these people piss me off. This is why I try to stay off social media once again, because stuff like this pisses me off. They expect for us to sit back and not say anything about what's happening to us. It pisses me off. Let me find my next story here. I had to take a breather. And if LeBron James give this man any kind of money, I'm going to be pissed off even more. So Vanessa Bryant, Kobe Bryant's widower, she stood up. And bashed LA Sheriff Alex Villanueva for asking LeBron James to give money The nerve of him. The nerve of him. Jesus. If LeBron James give them money, he a gangbanger too. He right down with them. Okay, let me get to my next story. Vanessa Bryant blasts the sheriff for challenging LeBron James to give money. And I hope she's not the only one. I hope a lot more people blast him because he got some nerve. Thinking that LeBron James owe him anything. You asking a man, a black man, to give you money to help murderers from your department. That ain't right. That is not right. You asking a black man to give you money to help murderers that are in your police department. Something wrong with that, bruh. Something is terribly wrong with that. I'm trying to sit up here and figure out why will LeBron James give you money to help your investigation? Why? Mm. Let me find my article because yeah, here it is. So the LA sheriff Alex Villanueva challenged LeBron James to give him money. Hi, Julius. Hi, hope your day is going well. Hurry up and get home. I hope you're on your break. So, Alex Villanueva, who is the LA sheriff, asking LeBron James to give him money to help find the person that shot the two LA police officers yesterday. And Vanessa Bryant, Kobe's widower, she blasted the sheriff for challenging LeBron James to match the reward in the shooting of deputies. Does that make sense to anybody else? Because it damn sure don't make any sense to me. Why would a black man give money to a LA cop after everything that you guys put us through and continue to put us through? Why would he do that? So Vanessa Bryant, the widow of the late NBA superstar Kobe Bryant, criticized the Los Angeles County Sheriff for challenging current Lakers star LeBron James to match a reward offered in the ambush shooting of two deputies over the weekend. Sheriff Alex Villanueva suggested during an interview that James should double a $175,000 reward offered for information leading to a gunman's arrest. Wait a minute, y'all. I gotta drink some of this soda. Hold on. Is this right here? Hold on, y'all. Today, Jesus. Today, Jesus. Why? This challenge is to LeBron James, Villanueva said during a radio interview. I want you to match that and double the reward because I know you care about law enforcement. You expressed a very, very interesting statement about your perspective on race relations and an officer involved shooting and the impact it has on the African American community. Exactly, Jules. I don't understand. Why would he do that? Why should he do that? Unless this cop knows something about LeBron James that we don't know. Shalom, brother Ariel. Shalom. So this sheriff is asking LeBron James to match a reward leading to the arrest of the gunman that shot two cops yesterday. And one thing I don't like that LeBron said is that black people are afraid. We are not afraid. We are not afraid. This ain't 1622. This ain't 1300. We are not afraid of you. We just want justice, just like anybody else in this country. The mass majority of the people that I know have faith in the Most High Yah and believe that He is going to put your wickedness to an end, to a halt. White people, white, wicked, evil, hated. I can't even get it out. You are our open enemy. Why will we contribute to your wicked departments? Brother Ariel says, ha ha. Picture us helping y'all find a killer for cops when we have so many black people cases that have went unanswered, rather long, a long solved. Exactly. Look, I could take you all the way back to Emmett Till. I could take you all the way back to Emmett Till. The lady that lied and got that little young 14-year-old boy killed is still walking around here, living her life. No one served time for that. Her husband did go to jail, but he got right back out. They let him go. All the way back to Emmett Till. And you expect for us not to be mad. We are not afraid of you heathens. More aware of you. Exactly. I had to tell this white lady this last night on YouTube. I had to tell her that last night on YouTube. LeBron James had not commented on the sheriff's Villanueva's interview as of today. Vanessa Bryant, who is suing the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department after deputies allegedly shared photos from the helicopter crash site where Kobe, daughter Gianna, and 7 others died, responded in her Instagram story. Bryant incorporated screenshots of tweets from a Twitter user named Elaine Marie, including one that read, "He shouldn't be challenging LeBron James to match a reward or to step up to the plate. He could even step up to the plate and hold his deputies accountable for photographing dead children." He can't even get his department in order. His department are so full of gangbangers right now as we speak. He can't even get his own department in order. He can't even get his own house in order. We talked about the deputy gang yesterday linked to the LA County Sheriff's Department. They are gangbangers for real. They are gangbangers for real. You got the Los Bandidos. You got the 3,000 Boys, the Regulators, and the Linwood Vikings. And that's just a few. It's estimated 17 gangs that operate in jails and sheriff stations across the country. They are gangbangers, y'all. I'm telling you. Another tweet questioned how Sheriff Villanueva could ask athletes and others to trust the criminal justice system when his sheriff's department couldn't be trusted to secure Kobe Bryant's helicopter crash scene. See, I didn't even know that. No, Julius. He said LeBron James and Terrell Owens are telling the media that black people are afraid to walk down the street, like we scared. And they shouldn't be doing that. That's people that don't have trust in a higher power. That's people that don't have trust that God is going to do what he said he was going to do. He's going to get rid of these wicked heathens for the way they treating us, the way they have treated us, the way they continue to treat us. It's in the air. You can feel it. It's coming. The Most High is working, so there is nothing to be afraid of. Nothing. Nothing. But they think that we're not supposed to be mad. We're not supposed to be angry. We're supposed to be just keep on tap dancing and performing. That's what they think. Brian also included a quote from Mayor Eric Garcetti condemning the shootings of the two deputies, adding the message, "Not all deputies are bad apples. Prayers for the two deputies that were shot." Both deputies were shot in the head at point-blank range while they sat in their patrol car near a Compton Metro station over the weekend. According to the LA County Sheriff's Department, protesters blocked the entrance and exit of the hospital emergency room where the deputies were being treated on Saturday night, and at least one year, we hope they die. And see, Alex Villanueva, he had the media thinking that Black Lives Matter protesters were down there. He had the media thinking that there were so many protesters down there that people couldn't even walk. But if you look at the news, it's like 5 or 6 people down there protesting. I just said that, Ariel. If LeBron James give these heathens money, then we will never forgive him, and he will be considered an agent signed up. That's what I just said. I'm telling you. If he do it, he better not let us know. Otherwise, he's just like them. I just said that. The officers were listed in stable condition on Monday and are expected to survive. Right. So Villanueva, the sheriff, he said he didn't know what the motive was. Everybody in their right mind know what the motive of that shooting was. I'm not condoning it, but I understand it. I understand it. I'm not condoning it. I understand it. And that's the truth. These cops are evil. What about a few months ago in, I think, June, July, August, about around June, there was a racist North Carolina cop caught on video calling for a civil war against black people. He said to wipe them off the effing map. Just in June. Okay, let me read this article. On June 4th, a little over a week after the death of George Floyd, a Wilmington, North Carolina police sergeant conducting routine checks of dash cam footage found video of 2 cops discussing, among other things, the arrival of martial law. This is what they're up to. Y'all see what they're up to? They trying to start a civil war against black people. Have y'all noticed that? They are trying to start a civil war. The article reads, "We are just going to go out and start slaughtering them effing niggers." One of the cops, Michael Kevin Piner, said, he said, I can't wait. God, I can't wait. He used God. He could not wait to slaughter a black person. These are our open enemies. And you have these white people walking around here wondering why we are so angry. They are mad that we are here, like we got on that slave ship ourselves and packed ourselves on with other people and came to this country to become slaves. We did that ourselves. They're not even mad at their own ancestors that brought us here. They mad at us for being here. What kind of bullshit is that? Jeez. Piner was fired along with two other white officers, James Brian Gilmore and Jesse E. Moore II, with whom he had conversations filled with racist threats of violence. Video of the conversation has not yet been released, but the comments are quoted in the sergeant's reports about what she heard on the video. According to the reports, Piner also said of a black officer, let's see how his boys take care of him when shit gets rough. See if they don't put a bullet in his head. He also complained that he saw videos on social media of people worshiping blacks. Moore gets in on the racism too, calling someone he'd arrested a Negro and the N-word, saying she needed a bullet in her head. He also calls a black judicial official a effing Negro magistrate. These are our open enemies, y'all, but yet we're not supposed to be pissed off. We're supposed to be scared. They want us scared. They want us scared. And so for Terrell Owens and LeBron James to say that we are scared, now I can understand the children being scared. When you beat their parents in front of them, I can understand children being scared. But for the most part, we're not afraid of y'all. We have never been afraid of y'all. And you will see that every day from here on out, going forward, you will see that black people are not afraid of you guys, you heathens. Back to the article. The conversation broadened out into a discussion of genocide, per the sergeant's report. Officer Piner then explained to Corporal Moore that he felt society needed a civil war to wipe him off the effing map. That'll put him back about 4 or 5 generations. Y'all hear this? Are you listening? The report notes that when confronted about their comments, each officer pointed to the stress of today's climate and law enforcement as a reason for their venting. Each officer also denied being racist. Lord have mercy, Jesus. Help me, Lord. Help me, Lord. Help me, Lord. What do they think a racist is? They deny being racist. What's wrong with them, y'all? Can somebody please tell me what's wrong with the white people in this world today? The racist white people. What is wrong with them? And I'm going to be honest with you. And I don't care who knows it. I don't trust none of them. Sorry, I don't. Not sorry. It's hard for me to trust anybody, really. But to trust a white person, you can say you're not racist as much as you want to. I don't believe it. After all of that, they said they're not racist. Jules said, what? They just played one on TV. After all that they said about putting a bullet in a nigger head, calling us niggers, starting a civil war, to blow us off the effing map, they said they're not racist. And since we're in North Carolina, let me read this article about this Charlotte cop that found a missing teenager, then turned around and raped her and impregnated her. This story came out last year, but I just still want to read it because it's just unbelievable. You see how they called us animals? But who acted like animals? Who acting like animals? A Charlotte area cop found a missing teen, then raped her and impregnated her, and now her family is suing. Mm, mm, mm. These police departments need to get their houses in order. They really do. Got the nerve to ask LeBron James for money to help capture the person that shot 2 cops on Saturday in LA. Mm, mm, mm. Mm, mm, mm. And then they blamed their attitude or whatever on the stress of the job. They not racist, they just stressed out. Who does that? Like, who does that? Mm, 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 mm. Let me get my life together over here, because woo. Lord have mercy. Help me, Lord. Help me, Lord. Help me, help me, help me, Lord. Help me, Lord. I just want to point out and show y'all how crazy these racist people are. They are crazy. My mother would say they crazy as cat shit. I don't know how crazy that is, but it sounds pretty crazy. When a Gaston County teenager went missing in 2015, Lowell police officer Paul Blair was assigned to her case. First, he found the 13-year-old a new court document. A new court document says. Then he began showing up at her home late at night, bringing candy and giving her rides in his patrol car. Blair, a husband and father, told the girl's parents he wanted to be their daughter's mentor Instead, he initiated numerous sexual acts with her in his patrol car while still on duty and wearing his uniform. That's what the court document said. Y'all hear this? Shalom, Sister April. Right, Jules, I agree. They need to quit if they that stressed. No, they fired those cops in North Carolina. They fired them. This is a new case in Charlotte, North Carolina. It happened a few years ago, where this officer was assigned to a missing teenager. He found her, but then he started having sexual relations with her in his squad car, in his police uniform, while on duty. This man is a husband. This man is a father. At 14, she became pregnant with Blair's child, the lawsuit says. 14. In 2017, the veteran officer pleaded guilty to statutory rape and was sentenced to just 12 years in prison. In a new lawsuit that surfaced in federal court this week, well, not this week, but the week of this article, which was in last year sometimes, the teen and her mother are seeking damages for what they described as the physical and emotional damage caused by Blair. They also want to be reimbursed for their cost of first delivering and now raising Blair's infant son. Wow, this is the ones who are supposed to be protecting and serving. He protected and served her all right. Brother Ariel said, these heathens are just like animals with the same makeup as the rat, the cat, the dog, mouse, catbirds, monkey, etc. Because when you throw all them in a pool of water, all their hairs fall down their backs. That's deep. That's deep. The lawsuit also names Lowell Police Chief Scott Bates in the city of Lowell, about 15 miles west of Charlotte, alleging that they knew that Blair had a history of improper conduct with minors. His wife probably knew it too. Not only was Blair hired and kept on the force, the suit says, he was also placed in positions where he would have close contact with children. The lawsuit points Blair as a sexual predator, which he is. He also wore a badge and carried a gun. The biggest issue here is that Blair had a long and well-known history of engaging in this kind of behavior, and the city of Lowell knew about it, says Charlotte attorney Brad Smith, whose firm filed the complaints. What happened to this child is tragic and horrible. Presumably, it could have been prevented. The lawsuit accuses Blair of assault and battery and files separate claims against all of the defendants of infliction of emotional distress and wrongful conception. The mother and daughter are seeking medical expenses as well as punitive and compensatory damages, claiming that the teenage victim was deprived of her right to freedom from unlawful assault, battery, and sexual contact in the hands of the police. The same police. And this man in LA, Sheriff Alex Villanueva, want LeBron James to give him money, to give that department money to capture whomever shot those two officers on Saturday. Back to this article. The infant boy Blair fathered is being raised by his victim's mother, the lawsuit says. She is asking to be reimbursed for the hospital cost of delivering the child, along with the expenses of taking care of him until he reaches legal age. She also wants to repay the medical expenses stemming from her daughter's severe physical and mental injuries. His pension should get taken away. His pension should get taken away. It says Blair joined the Lowell police in 2003. After returning the missing teen to her family, Blair later told them that the girl had taken an interest in law enforcement and that mentoring children was part of his job, the lawsuit says. He began visiting her home regularly, bringing candy and food to give her. He frequently told the girl's parents and others that if they questioned the nature of his relationship with the teen, they would open themselves up to possible arrest, the lawsuit says. That's crazy. You cannot ask about your own daughter. Blair was arrested in September of 2016. Yes, that's him in the photo. He was arrested in September of 2016 after the pregnancy was discovered. The girl was still 13 when Blair initiated the sex. And Alex Villanueva want us to respect law enforcement. They are a bunch of gang banging thugs, all of them. I'm sorry. You might have one or two, but all of them thugs. All of them are thugs. Let me make my case some more. Let me go on to my next story. He do look like a pervert. Let me make my claim some more.
McCafe iced coffee is the perfect reward for making
Hush.
it through the.
Let me make another claim. Show you how wicked these cops are. They wicked. Wicked cops. That's what I should have named this article. Wicked cops. I mean, this live stream. Wicked cops. Let me take you back to the cops. The cop in the George Floyd case. Because prosecutors say that the cop that killed him had used excessive force before. Maybe we all knew this, but I just wanted to refresh some memories. Because they want us to forget. They want us to forget. And y'all know us, we do have a knack of forgetting stuff. We let stuff go too much. We let stuff go too much. We let stuff go. And I said and I said again, we're not forgiving people anymore. We're not accepting any more apologies. We are not accepting any more apologies.
Some see a grilled cheese sandwich and ask why. I see a new kitchen with a grill.
Have a great day, Jules. I love you, and I'll see you later. I'll see you later, babe. Thanks for joining in. I love my husband. He's my biggest supporter. So, this is actually my first time watching this video. So, prosecutors in the case against former Minneapolis police officers accused in the killing of George Floyd say that they want to introduce evidence showing Derek Chauvin had used excessive force on arrestees before. Mm, mm, mm. Examples cited by prosecutors in a recent court filing include an incident last year in which Chauvin allegedly kicked an intoxicated man and used a neck restraint on him until he lost consciousness. Derek Chauvin, you dirty dog, you. And they want us to respect the police. They want us to love the police. They want us to give money to the police to help catch cop killers. Wow. The notice of intent to offer other evidence was filed by the Minnesota Attorney General's office in Hennepin County District Court a day before all four accused ex-officers appeared for a hearing. The wide-ranging motions hearing addressed a variety of pre-trial issues in the case against Chauvin, Thomas Lane, Tao Thao, and J. Alexander Cooing, including whether the former cops should face trial together or separately, but didn't focus on Attorney General's recently filed motion. Chauvin is charged with second-degree murder, third-degree murder, and manslaughter. Lang, Coing, and Theo are charged with aiding and abetting second-degree murder and manslaughter. Protesters gathered outside the courthouse to call for justice for Floyd, a 46-year-old black man who was handcuffed, unarmed, and begging for air as Chauvin pressed his knee into his neck during a May arrest in the case that launched nationwide protests against brutality and systematic racism. I was just thinking about Rodney King. And how would he feel if he was here today? Because Rodney King, if I'm not mistaken, was the first case of police brutality caught on video. But he's no longer with us now, but I wonder how he would be acting. What would his response be to these frequent cases of police brutality against black people? In the motion filed, Attorney General Keith Ellison and Assistant Attorney General Matthew Frank outlined 8 incidents they say they want to use to show Chauvin's knowledge, intent, common scene, or plan, absence of a justifiable mistake, accident, misunderstanding, and state of mind at the time of the crime. They include a March 15, 2014 incident during which Chauvin allegedly placed his body weight on the upper body and head of an arrested male as the arrestee laid in a prone position on the ground. On February 15, 2015, an incident in which Chauvin allegedly arrested a man by applying pressure to his lingual artery beneath his chin bone and pressed him into a wall. Chauvin then allegedly pulled the man to the ground, placed him in a prone position, and handcuffed him. On August 22nd of 2015, an incident in which Chauvin allegedly responded to a scene where other officers fought with and tased a suicidal, intoxicated, and mentally disturbed man. The other officers then positioned the man on his side to recover, consistent with training, and Chauvin transported him to the hospital. The officers were later commended, and medical staff said that if they'd prolonged the detention or failed to transport the man quickly to the hospital, he could have died. On April 22nd of 2016, these are almost months apart from each other. Jesus. April 22nd of 2016, there was an incident in which Chauvin allegedly placed his hands around an arrested man's neck and applied pressure, then forced him backwards into a sidewalk and handcuffed him. He then stood the man up. His actions resulted in a small crowd of concerned citizens to view his actions. The filing reads, the male later complained of asthma and paramedics was called to the scene. On June 25, 2017, an incident in which Chauvin allegedly restrained an arrested woman by placing his knee on her neck as she was prone on the ground. He shifted his body weight onto the female's neck and continued to restrain the female in this position beyond the point when such force was needed under the circumstances, the filing said. Shalom, woman of the past. Praying all is well with you, sister. On March 12th of 2019, there was an incident during which Chauvin allegedly detained an intoxicated man on the ground by applying a neck restraint while sitting on his lower back, restraining the man in the position after the force was necessary, according to prosecutors. And they expect us not to be mad over this stuff. They expect for us not to be angry. What are we supposed to do? On July 6th of 2019, the incident in which Chauvin allegedly kicked an intoxicated man in the midsection and applied a neck restraint until the man lost consciousness, again restraining the man beyond the point when such force was needed. Neck restraints were at the time allowed under departmental policy, including to render people unconscious, but only in a defensive manner directly proportional to the force being directed against the officer. The department has since banned their use completely ahead of a state civil rights review of police practices. And the article goes on and trying to decide if the four men that was involved in the George Floyd case should be tried together. We don't care. Just try them and get them out of here. We don't care if you try them together or separate. We just want justice done for the killing of George Floyd and for all these other people that Chauvin almost killed. I can't believe he stayed on the department that long after complaints was filed against him. He almost killed these people. And God knows how many people he have killed other than George Floyd. Only God knows. Yes, he is a freak. He's more than that to me, but I ain't even going to say it. I'm going to be nice. I'm trying to be nice. But so far, we talked about Sheriff Alex Villanueva, who asked LeBron James to match a reward to find out or find the person that shot the two cops last Saturday. He want LeBron James to add money he want LeBron James to match the reward money. Have you lost your mind, sir? Have you lost your mind? I don't understand your logic. Why would you think LeBron James give you money to help you catch a person that shot two police officers? If anything, he should give money to help arrest these police officers that kill people, that beat up people, but get to walk around town the next day. Got to be out of your naked mind. Let me go on to my next story because that done pissed me off even more. I'm talking about these wicked cops.
Into the personnel files.
I'm talking about these wicked cops. With that being said, let's get into the personnel files of the three men that's involved in the Breonna Taylor shooting. Let's talk about that. Let's get into that. Okay. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about the personal record of the three cops that was involved in the Breonna Taylor shooting. So y'all want us to forget about this stuff. Y'all want us to forget so y'all can continue to do what y'all do. But this is a new day. We are not our ancestors. We want answers. We have questions. This is a new day.
Hi, I'm Quinn Buckner, a proud member of the American Senior Communities team.
I'm trying to get this video to play. I don't know if it's going to play. I don't think it's going to play. So let me just find my pictures and get back to this article. Okay, so, okay. I got about 2 more articles I want to read. Here's what is in the personnel files of 3 LMPD officers involved in Breonna Taylor's shooting. Of course, we know yesterday that the family settled for millions of dollars in the Breonna Taylor case. I really don't know what that means, but I hope that we still get justice for what these officers did to Breonna Taylor. We have Detective Miles Cosgrove, Detective Brett Hankerson, and Sergeant John Mattingly. Sergeant John Mattingly, that's the one that got shot. By Breonna Taylor's then boyfriend, Kenneth Walker. So, personnel records for the 3 LMPD officers involved in the deadly shooting of a woman inside of her home show reprimands and commendations. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Officer Miles Cosgrove. That's Officer Miles Cosgrove. I can't even say his name. Officer John Mattingly and Brett Hankerson served a warrant at the home of Breonna Taylor back in March. The officers and Taylor's boyfriend, Kenneth Walker, engaged in a shootout that killed Taylor. The case has made national headlines in recent days. This article making it sound like that Breonna Taylor was killed in the crossfire between Kenneth Walker and the officers. That's not true. That's not how it worked. Let me make that clear. She was hit by officers' bullets, not by her boyfriend's bullets. Okay? Cosgrove's File shows he joined the department in 2005. And in 2006, he was suspended for his role in a police-involved shooting. Satterley was sentenced to charges without serving time. The lawsuit was dismissed by a judge, and Cosgrove returned from paid administrative leave the following year. Cosgrove received written reprimands in 2008 and 2010 and was suspended again in 2016 for skipping a court hearing. Cosgrove also received 10 commendations for various achievements between 2006 and 2016, including 3 in 2015. Mattingly joined the force in 2000. He received a written reprimand in 2018 for failing to file an incident report the previous year. He also received 16 letters of appreciation from 2001 to 2004, and then 18 letters of commendation from 2006 to 2017. Mattingly was mentioned in a 2008 case heard by an appellate courts. Tobias Jones was stopped by Mattingly in 2006. Court records say Mattingly patted him down and found a stolen gun as well as marijuana. Jones said officers didn't have reasonable suspicion for the stop, citing Mattingly's experience as a narcotics investigator. The court found that Jones's rights were violated and the appeal was denied. Brett Hankerson received 1 letter of appreciation in both 2003 and 2004 and has received 44 letters of commendation, including 9 in 2016 and 3 last year. Last October, a man named Kendrick Wilson sued Hankerson and LMPD, accusing the officer of excessive use of force, negligence, intentional infliction of emotional distress, and malicious prosecution. Kendrick Wilson claims he and Hankerson were involved with the same woman and that Hankerson planted drugs on him during one of the several times he had been arrested by the detective over a 3-year span. Next up in that case is a pre-discovery disclosure hearing, which was scheduled. Back in 2012, Hankerson was named in a police brutality suit along with nearly 20 other LMPD officers and LMPD and Jeffersonville police officers. I told you these cops are gangs. They are bona fide gang bangers. Bona fide gang bangers. And they want LeBron to give money to help capture a shooter. Oh, miss me with this mess. Leon Brackens, Leon Brackens was getting a ride to a store in Jeffersonville from a woman named Rhonda Ray Sullivan when police tried to pull her over. She had several warrants and kept driving, leading police on a chase from Indiana into Louisville. Brackens called 911 from the car begging for help, but court documents show somehow dispatchers communicated it wrong, saying that he was the suspect and not the driver. Once Sullivan stopped, Police took Brackens down to the ground, injuring him permanently in the process. His family claims he died because of those injuries a year later. It's unclear how Hankerson was involved, but he was among a group of officers dismissed from the case 3 years before the case was thrown out. Because Jefferson County Commonwealth's Attorney Tom Wine is investigating Walker, Wine announced this week he's asking Kentucky Attorney General Daniel Cameron to appoint a special prosecutor to investigate the Breonna Taylor's death. Louisville Mayor Greg Fisher and LMPD Chief Steve Conrad are calling for a federal investigation. Taylor's family hired, among others, Ben Crump, a well-known civil rights lawyer who once represented Trayvon Martin's family in the high-profile Stand Your Ground case in Florida several years ago. Crump also is currently representing the family of Ahmaud Arbery, the black jogger who was shot dead on a Georgia street in February. And I do believe that he's representing Jacob Blake in Kenosha. This is what we go through, y'all. To the white people that don't understand why we're so angry. We don't understand why you don't understand why we're angry. You couldn't walk in our shoes for a minute with your white privilege. You cannot walk in our shoes for 1 second. And this is not for all white people, just the racist white people who continue to stay racist to our open enemies. That's what you are. You are the open enemy to a black man. You racist white people. You racist white cops. You thugged out gang bangers. That's what you are. But you calling us the gangs. You calling us the animals. Look at how you're acting. Look at how you're acting. Yet we the thugs. I talked about Sandra Bland yesterday. Ironically enough, today, this article came out that says the trooper that was involved in the Sandra Bland case has been fired. He said he was afraid for his life. Wonder did she have any weapons? I would like to ask Alex Villanueva, Sheriff Alex Villanueva in LA, why do he think LeBron, and why LeBron out of all people? Why do he think LeBron should match award money for the shooter that shot those 2 cops in LA? Why does he feel the need to ask LeBron for money? This article reads, trooper fired for Sandra Bland's stop. The trooper was fired for Sandra Bland's stop. He said his safety was in jeopardy. Oh yeah? Let's see. Former Texas Deputy of Safety Trooper Brian Encenia says he feared for his personal safety after pulling over Sandra Bland in Waller County on July 21st, 2015. My safety was in jeopardy at more than one time, said Encinia during an interview by the agency's Office of Inspector General when asked if he was scared during the traffic stop. Audio from the interview, which took place 3 months after Bland was found dead in her jail cell, was recently released to KXAN TV. Encinia has never been questioned in a criminal or civil court or spoken publicly to explain his actions that day. Encinia stopped Bland, who was 28, in Prairie View for failing to signal a lane change. Wait a minute, y'all. I gotta drink some of this soda. Where my soda at? Lord have me, Jesus. Tell me this. How does being stopped for not turning on your signal end up getting you killed? He stopped her in Prairie View for failing to signal a lane change. Their interactions quickly became heated, and she was ultimately arrested on suspicion of assaulting a public servant. She was found hanged in her jail cell 3 days later. How does a signal end up you being, how does a traffic, how does a traffic stop end up getting you killed? After her death, dashboard camera video of the arrest gained national attention and contradicted Encinia's official reports of the incident. He was fired from DPS and indicted on a perjury charge for lying in his report. But the charges were dropped after Encinia agreed to give up his police license and never seek another job in law enforcement. In the audio recording, Encinia said he became concerned by the way Bland was acting and her movements inside her car, as he watched from his patrol vehicle while writing her a warning citation. He knew something was wrong, but I didn't know what was wrong. I didn't know if a crime was being committed. He said he didn't know a crime was being committed, had been committed, or whatnot, said the trooper. When asked what crime he believed Bland was committing or about to commit, Encinia responded, "I had a feeling that anything could have been either retrieved or hidden within her area of control. My primary concern was with the purse, with that console. As far as being any kinds of weapons or drugs, or it's unknown to me. I don't know what happened, but something did, and to me, that was the reasonable suspicion." But when investigators asked why he didn't order Bland out of the car at that point, or asked what she was doing, Encinia said he had no answer. In a newly released DPS use of force report from the arrest, Encinia's supervisor says the trooper was rude when asking Bland why she seemed irritated, and when he asked her if she was done after she stopped talking. The report also says he did not follow procedure when he didn't tell Bland what action he was going to take, and the situation had already gotten out of hand. I think things could have been handled differently. Yes, sir. I still did have a concern for the area of her control that I didn't know what was there, but I do agree that things could have been done differently, he said when asked if he could have de-escalated the situation by telling Bland she was only being given a warning for the traffic violation. When asked why he did not initially tell Bland why she was under arrest, Insidious said, "I don't have a reason for that." Jesus. Insidia denied racially profiling Bland, who was a black woman. He said Bland had driven through a stop sign as she left the Prairie View A&M campus. She was coming from a campus. She was coming from school. But the trooper admitted he was unsure if it was a private or public property. "I was unsure at the time if that stop sign was located at a public or private roadway." Knowing he could not ticket Bland for failure to stop at the sign, Insidia went on to explain why he followed her. "I was checking the condition of the vehicle, such as the make, the model, had a license plate, any other conditions." KXAN reached out to Insidia, but he declined an interview request. When asked if DPS had a comment, a spokesman for the department pointed out that DPS terminated Insidia. Insidia's statements during the DPS administrative investigation were criticized by the San Antonio-based attorney who helped represent the Bland family. First of all, the grand jury didn't believe it. They indicted him. Secondly, the DPS didn't believe it. They fired him. And thirdly, the family doesn't believe it, and I certainly don't believe it, said Bland's family attorney, Tom Rose. "It's just nonsense. It was justification made up by him in a not very intelligent way to justify his illegal use of force against her." That's why it's important for us to know these cops' names and see their faces. Right now, this man cannot apply for any type of law enforcement anywhere in the country, but we still need to know what he looked like. I proposed a question on YouTube yesterday about the two officers that that beat up, what's his name? Roderick Walker, who was in the Lyft car, who was taking a Lyft back home. He didn't have his ID. And because he asked the officers why were they questioning him, they pulled him out of the car and beat him up. And so I was wondering why those two officers' names weren't being released. I wanted to know why the officers' names were not being released, just in case one of them happened to come to Maryland and apply for a job and get the job. You on another police force so that you can beat somebody else up. We need to know who these people are. But for some reason, this white woman, this heathen, did not understand why I needed to know their names. I told her I'm a black woman in the United States of this here America. It's a precautionary measure for my safety to know who they are. I'm sorry that you don't understand that. Maybe because your skin is not brown like mine, lady. You couldn't walk a second in my shoes with your white privilege. She had so much to say, but when I said that, I have not heard from her. I'm still waiting for her to respond because I got more. I have more. Now I want to talk about, I'm switching over to the sports world. Because now I want to talk about Mike Ditka. Let me talk about Mike Ditka right quick. Then I got one more story, and then I'm going to hop off this thing. This is why I wish that the NFL will suffer. I wish that the NFL will suffer this year. I hope that every black man that plays professional football quit. I do. I don't know what they're gonna do after that, but I hope the National Football League lose everything. And now they're saying they wish that they had listened to Colin Kaepernick when he was kneeling. Now they wish they had talked to him more because they see what we go through on a daily basis. They see what we're going through. But every time I turn around, the police is blaming that we always resisting arrest. That's the lie that they tell. And that's what they have their fellow white people thinking, that we are always resisting arrest. That's the lie that they tell. We don't have to resist arrest to get our butts whipped, or we don't have to resist arrest to get killed by the police officers. We don't have to do anything. When is that going to sink into some people's heads? We don't have to do a damn thing for them to beat us up or for them to kill us. Y'all know that? Y'all know this. And now listen at Mike Ditka. Now, I don't even want to play the video. But listen to what he says. Mike Ditka again did not hold back. The Chicago Bears legend and NFL Hall of Fame said in the past he opposes players kneeling for the national anthem. Now again, following the start of 2020 season, Ditka voiced his displeasure with the protests. Now, let me just tell his dumb ass one more time. We are not protesting the national anthem, but we are protesting police brutality in this country. And we do it on the national anthem to bring it to your attention in hopes that you would do something about it. But because you are making up stories and saying that we kneeling because we don't like this country, would you like this country if you woke up every day and you saw your brother or your sister getting beat up, or your brother or your sister getting killed by the police? Mike Ditka, you could not walk a second in a black man's shoe. You could not you could not survive in black man's shoe. You wouldn't be so tough if you was a black man, Mike Ditka. He says the former coach told Newsmax, football's football. It's not a complicated thing. You're playing the game. You're enjoying the game. You don't like the game, get out of it. It's not for protesting one way or the other. What color you are, what you think, this or that, you play football. That's it. You're privileged. You got a gift from God that you can play the game because you got a body. You can do it. I don't really understand what you're protesting. I played the game. I coached the game for a long time. It makes no sense. He continued, I would tell those players, go to another country and play football there. You don't have to come out. Why should they have to go to another country? This is their country too. Your ancestors brought us here. Don't be mad because we're here now and we fighting for our rights. Be mad with your ancestors. They the ones brought us here. I hate it when they tell us to get out of this country. And do what? And go where? I lost their damn mind. He said, you don't have to come out if you go to another country. You can't, because the game's only played in this country. And if you can't respect this country, get the hell out of it. Did you hear that? Did you hear that? He said, if you don't like this country, get the hell out of it. And do what? And go where? Shalom, Brother Trail. This is the type of stuff that we go through. This is the type of stuff that we go through. Let me show y'all two more pictures and then I'm gonna get out of here. Check this picture out. Since we're talking about the NFL, look at this. This says, former NFL who doesn't like black women claims racist white ex-girlfriend beat him and called him the N-word. We don't care. We don't care. Who are you telling this to? Because we surely don't care. Black people don't care. You don't even like black women. So who you telling this to? Former NFL player. Oh, this is just a story. This is just a photo. Because I don't see the story anywhere. Wait a minute. Where's the article? No article? I guess there's no article. It's just I don't even know if this is true or not. When someone posted this in the room, former NFL player who doesn't like black women claims racist white ex-girlfriend beat him and called him a nigger. Okay, I have another picture and then I'm going to get out of here. I wanted y'all to see this. Oh, where's that picture? Look at this. I don't know if this was meant to be a mockery or what, but look at the t-shirts and look who's wearing them. Is this meant to be a mockery? You have a white family, son, You have a man, a woman, a little girl, and a little boy. They have on t-shirts. And I'm describing this for my podcast folk because I will be uploading this into my Spreaker podcast. It says funny family matching outfits. Dope black dad. Dope black mom. Dope black daughter. Dope son. Family t-shirts. But you have white people wearing the t-shirts. And they are selling the t-shirts from $4.64 to $7.44. I wish I would. Y'all see this? Anyway. It's almost 2:00. I had enough. It's your girl, BeeSparrow. Buzz Tweet Radio. Please like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what y'all think about this picture right here. White family wearing dope black t-shirts. It's your girl, BeeSparrow. Buzz Tweet Radio. I'm out.
Got triggers, but don't know good if you can't retrieve it. You best believe it, yes, it's tunnel vision. It's like mom when she told you to ask permission. But as usual, niggas get caught slipping. The failure's mutual, so niggas stop tripping. Cause it only takes 1 second to get my clip in. We can take it to the fence, go 8-9 ass.
It's like AI when he became a 76. Me and R&B's are heavily mixed. The answer came to me in a dream, so I had to call my nigga double. Suckers hating already, causing chaos and trouble. We bringing ruckus to motherfuckers that interfere or try to intercept our fate. Nigga, this is our year. We suckers we here. Leave them stuck with medical bills for trying to be shiesty, flexing theoretical skills. Two niggas from the gutter, which you labor receive it.
Hey, this is BeeSparrow from Buzz Tweet Radio. Join me Monday through Friday from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. on Spreaker.com to hear music that you haven't heard in a long time and songs that you probably never heard before. You can find us on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Castbox, Deezer, Podcast Addict, and Podchaser. Remember, Buzz Tweet Radio with 3 Z's. It's your girl, BeeSparrow. Holla.